one of the big stories, one of the big issues that's kind of starting to come out in Hollywood is evolving around the VFX artists. The VFX artists are really starting to speak up. They're really starting to tell their stories of just the harsh and stressful and straight up abusive situations that they are put in sometimes by these studios, being forced to pump out the CGI for their movies, for their TV shows, especially with the abundance of movies and TV shows that we have nowadays. Some of the stories honestly sound like horror stories. They sound depressing. They sound sad. No one should be treated the way that they're treated. And we have some movement from the Disney VFX artists that they're actually making history. They're making an historic movement. They have voted. They've put a vote together to unionize. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, and they had to say this. After filing with the NLRB, an election could occur in 2 to 3 weeks for these Disney workers, according to IATSE. If a majority of workers vote to unionize, the studio, which didn't voluntarily recognize the effort, according to the union, would then be called upon to begin good faith negotiations for a union contract. Disney did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. So basically what this is saying is these workers have gotten together. They want to start a union. They want to start a union, and they have come together, and they have basically said, yes, we want to move forward with starting a union. So they're taking votes right now. Of all their VFX artists at Disney, and if the majority do say yes, we want to start a union, they will go into negotiations with Disney. Now it goes on to say the workers are calling for fair compensation for all hours worked, adequate health care, retirement benefits, and more generally the same rights and protections afforded to their unionized coworkers who are already represented by IATSE, according to the union. So this is historic because this is the second time that this has ever happened, and the first time was only a couple weeks ago. Marvel, the VFX artists over at Marvel have done this. They have come forward and they have put forth their votes to unionize. Now this is fantastic. Honestly, this is a long time coming, I think, because you listen to these stories, as I mentioned before, and these guys, they're sleeping at work. They're working 24 hours straight. They work until they go to sleep, and then they wake up and they immediately go back to their computer pads. And these guys are living, these VFX artists, the ones that, I mean, the writers, yes, they are foundational to making a movie happen. But a lot of days, you need these VFX artists to make your movie happen. I mean, if you don't have these VFX artists, if you don't have these CGI creations and green screens and all this stuff done, you've got nothing. So the fact that these VFX artists have been treated like dirt and have just been overworked and pushed and pushed and pushed by these studios, and they didn't even have health care? They didn't even have benefits. They didn't have a retirement fund going. Like, the fact that these guys, I mean, you listen to even Across the Spider-Verse workers, like, they were working 40-hour weeks, maybe even more than that. And you listen to all these stories of these people that were just, like, trying to grind and get it out, and then Disney comes to them and is like, oh, you just spent like 17 hours doing that? We're cutting that scene. Can you replace it with this now? Like, the way that they are treated, it makes it's so, in a way of like, disposable. It makes them feel disposable, you know? And it's such a horrible way to treat your employees. And the fact is too, and this is just a reality, this is a fact, these workers are in unprecedented times. We have way more visual effects work required than they can handle, and this is like the first time in history that we've ever had that. Just look at Disney Plus, look at HBO Max, look at Paramount Plus, look at just general TV. There are so many high quality effects being put into TV shows today like never before, let alone the movies coming from the big studios where they need, like, I don't know, 20 movies done per studio each year of high visual effects, probably even more. These guys are making a huge impact in the VFX industry by doing this, not only for themselves, but for the upcomers, those who are studying, those who are working towards becoming VFX artists in the future. They're going to have a much nicer future because of these guys. Now, will this go through? Will the negotiations go their way? Well, if they do start a union, they could potentially go on strike too if they wanted to, if Disney wasn't treating them, if negotiations didn't go well. But honestly, this is one of those stories where you read it and you just kind of feel proud for these people, looking out for the people coming behind them that are going to be taking their places and just taking care of themselves. Like, you just want to applaud them. Like, good job, guys. Good job taking this step, this historic step. It's incredible. It's incredible, and I really hope that it goes their way because these visual effects artists, they really deserve it. Anyway, guys, that's all my thoughts. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of these VFX artists that are voting to unionize? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about this. I'd love to talk about it with you. And without further ado, let's go back and see what you guys are saying about this.